By Lu's emotional confession on Zhang Linghe's scandal, Dylan Wang's reaction leaves fans shaking. The entertainment world froze last night when Bai Lu, one of China's most beloved actresses, broke her silence on the scandal surrounding Zhang Linghe. But just as the air in the room grew heavy with her confession, Dylan Wang's unexpected reaction sent shockwaves through fans worldwide. It wasn't just a statement, it was a performance, a revelation, and a raw, unfiltered look into the hearts of three stars caught in a storm bigger than anyone could have predicted. The silence before the storm. The stage was set at the Golden Lotus Entertainment Gala, an event that usually sparkles with laughter, champagne, and choreographed elegance. But this year, the glitz was overshadowed by a tension so thick you could feel it through the screen. Bai Lu stepped onto the stage in a floor-length silver gown that shimmered under the spotlights, her hair swept back into an understated bun. Her face, however, betrayed none of the glamour. Her eyes were glassy, her lips pressed tight, and her posture stiff, as though bracing for an impact. Fans watching from home typed furiously in live chats. Why does she look so pale? Something's coming. I can feel it. She's going to address the Zhang Linghe rumors. And then, as if answering every whispered speculation, Bai Lu reached for the microphone. Her voice trembled, but her words cut sharp. I've stayed silent for too long, she began, her voice trembling so slightly that the audience collectively leaned forward. I thought silence would protect the people I care about, but all it did was let the lies grow stronger. Gasps rippled through the crowd. This wasn't going to be a vague PR statement. Bai Lu was about to tell the truth. Her confession came in waves. How she first met Zhang Linghe on set, how they became close friends despite the pressures of fame, and how certain misinterpreted moments spiraled into a media frenzy that painted her as something she wasn't. But then her voice broke. What hurt most wasn't the rumors about me, it was watching someone I care about be torn apart by things he didn't do. By now, the camera had zoomed in on her tear-filled eyes, the lights bouncing off the watery gloss of her lashes. The world felt like it had stopped spinning. Dylan Wang, a face that said everything. In the audience, seated in the second row, Dylan Wang's reaction became an instant internet obsession. The moment Bai Lu's voice cracked, the camera caught him, jaw tight, hands gripping the armrest, his usually playful eyes hard with unspoken emotion. When Bai Lu revealed that Zhang Linghe had protected her at great personal cost, Dylan exhaled sharply, as if the truth was hitting him just as hard as the audience. At one point, when she admitted, "If I could go back, I'd have spoken sooner," Dylan closed his eyes for a brief moment, not in annoyance, but in something far heavier, maybe regret, maybe understanding. The crowd erupts, and social media goes wild. The second Bai Lu stepped off the stage, the entire room buzzed like a shaken beehive. Some stood to applaud, others whispered urgently into phones. But online? It was chaos. On Weibo, the hashtag Bai Lu Confession hit 12 million views in under an hour. Clips of Dylan's reactions spread like wildfire, with captions like, "Dylan looked like he was holding back tears. This man knows more than he's saying. Protect Bai Lu at all costs." Even overseas fans jumped in. You don't have to know the language to feel her pain. That moment between her and Dylan? Intense. Behind the scenes, the backstage moment. What the live stream didn't show was what happened after Bai Lu exited the stage. According to an insider, she stumbled slightly as she stepped into the wings, and Dylan was the first to get up and follow her. Eyewitnesses claimed that in a quiet corner, Dylan placed both hands on her shoulders and said something that made her break into fresh tears. He didn't hug her immediately. Instead, he just stood there, holding her gaze, letting her cry until she could breathe again. Someone close to the production team overheard him whisper, "You don't have to fight this alone anymore." Within minutes, Zhang Linghe, who had been avoiding the spotlight since the scandal broke, appeared backstage too. The three of them spoke quietly, their heads close, their expressions a mix of pain and relief. What does this mean for their relationship dynamics? Fans have been quick to speculate on the complex triangle between Bai Lu, Zhang Linghe, and Dylan Wang. While Dylan and Bai Lu have worked together multiple times, there has never been confirmed romantic involvement. But after that look he gave her during the speech, some are convinced there's more under the surface. Others believe Dylan's reaction came from loyalty, not romance, pointing out that he and Zhang Linghe have shared a brotherly bond since their early acting days. Regardless, one thing is clear. The bond between all three is unshakable, and Bai Lu's confession has pulled them even closer in the public eye. The fans' final verdict. The comment section under every clip of this moment is overflowing with emotion. She's so brave, this industry needed to hear her. Dylan's eyes say it all. Respect. Zhang Linghe deserves justice, and now he might finally get it. Petitions have already started trending online, calling for the media outlets that fueled the rumors to issue formal apologies. Several entertainment journalists have even hinted at releasing exclusive behind-the-scenes footage that could further clear Zhang Linghe's name. The aftermath, a city still buzzing. By morning, the Golden Lotus Gala had transformed from an annual celebration of art into a landmark in celebrity transparency. Streets outside Bai Lu's agency were lined with fans holding flowers and handwritten letters of support. Meanwhile, Dylan was spotted leaving the venue late at night, alone, hands in his pockets, walking with the slow, deliberate steps of someone lost in thought. He didn't speak to reporters, but the faint curve of his lips suggested he felt proud of Bai Lu's courage. As for Bai Lu herself, she released a short message on her official page just before dawn. "I'm okay. I'm just grateful I finally spoke my truth." And yet, something still lingers. While the confession brought clarity, it also left a lingering question. What exactly did Dylan know? His reaction, so raw, so personal, hinted at a deeper layer to this story, one that is yet to come to light. Fans now wait with bated breath, wondering if the next chapter will finally reveal the full truth. And perhaps it's the most thrilling part of all, the feeling that the story isn't over, and the biggest revelation is still to come. The air inside the dimly lit press room felt almost electric. Cameras clicked in a chaotic rhythm, journalists leaned forward in their seats, and Bai Lu's trembling hands gripped the edge of the podium. Her voice, soft yet cutting through the noise, wavered as she spoke again. For months, I stayed silent because I thought the truth would speak for itself. But silence only gave space for lies to grow. Every eye in the room was locked on her, yet from the corner of the third row, Dylan Wang's gaze was the one she kept meeting. He wasn't here for publicity. He was here for her. The confession deepens. Bai Lu took a deep breath, her eyes glistening under the harsh spotlights. Zhang Linghe and I, she paused, a tear escaping before she could wipe it away. We weren't what the media made us out to be. Yes, we were close. Yes, there were moments, but not the kind you think. Gasps rippled through the audience. Several reporters whispered frantically, scribbling down every word. At that moment, Dylan subtly shifted forward in his chair, his jaw tightening. He was ready to step in if the questions got vicious. And they did. Bai Lu, are you saying the rumors of a secret romance were entirely fabricated? A bold reporter asked, leaning in with his recorder. She swallowed hard. I'm saying there's more to the story than anyone knows. Zhang Linghe she hesitated, almost as if a storm was raging in her mind. Someone I trusted. Someone I never expected would. She stopped abruptly, looking down at her shaking hands. The silence that followed was deafening. Dylan's protective move. Before the next wave of invasive questions could hit, Dylan stood up from the back. His presence alone made heads turn. Wearing a black jacket and an unreadable expression, he walked to the podium like a man who wasn't asking for permission. Enough, he said, his voice calm, yet commanding. If you want to know about scandals, ask me. But if you're here to tear apart someone who's already been through enough, you're in the wrong room. The shift in the room was instant. Reporters, sensing a bigger headline, now turned their microphones toward Dylan. Dylan, why are you defending Bai Lu? What do you know about Zhang Linghe's involvement? Dylan's eyes flickered toward Bai Lu before he answered. I know what it's like to have the truth twisted until it's unrecognizable. I know what it's like to have people think they know you when they don't. And I know that Bai Lu isn't lying today. A flashback revealed. His words hung in the air, and for a brief second, Bai Lu's mind drifted back to the night Dylan found her alone, sitting on the steps of a quiet alley, her phone buzzing nonstop with hateful messages. She remembered how he sat beside her without a word, simply offering his coat. It was the first time in weeks she had felt safe. "Why are you here?" she had asked him then. "Because I know what it's like to watch your world crumble," he replied. That night became the silent pact between them, a promise that if one of them was under fire, the other would not stand by quietly. The moment that broke the room. Back in the present, Bai Lu finally found her voice again. She stepped slightly aside from the microphone, her eyes never leaving Dylan's. "I didn't expect you to show up here," she said quietly, but the room's microphones still picked it up. "I wasn't going to," Dylan admitted, his lips curling into the faintest smirk. "But then I thought, why let you fight alone when I can fight beside you?" The collective awe from fans watching the live stream flooded social media within seconds. Hashtags like hashtag Dylan defends Bai Lu and hashtag stand with Bai Lu started trending at lightning speed. Bai Lu's final words. Turning back to the press, Bai Lu's voice steadied. "Zhang Linghe will speak for himself when he's ready. But I will say this, I am done letting people dictate my truth. Whatever you've heard, remember that there are always two sides, and mine has been waiting too long to be heard." The room erupted in flashes of camera lights, but the most striking image wasn't Bai Lu at the podium. It was Dylan, standing just slightly behind her, close enough to show solidarity, far enough to let her own voice be the headline. Social media meltdown. Within minutes, clips of Dylan placing a reassuring hand on Bai Lu's shoulder hit the internet. Fans flooded the comment sections. "The way he looks at her loudly crying face, loudly crying face. Zhang Linghe better start talking because Dylan just stole the spotlight. I don't even care about the scandal anymore, I just want a Dylan Bai Lu drama." Even celebrities started weighing in, with several posting cryptic tweets supporting Bai Lu without mentioning names. The closing scene. As the conference wrapped up, Dylan and Bai Lu walked side by side toward the exit. The clicking cameras followed them like shadows, but for a brief second, they both looked at each other and smiled. Not the public kind, but the rare, unguarded kind that said we survived today. When the heavy glass doors closed behind them, the crowd outside screamed their names, but neither turned to pose. They kept walking, side by side, into a city buzzing with speculation, and perhaps into a new chapter neither had planned.